I get that question so much, especially from the Black American men who want to know why I decided to marry Nigerian. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy Blake Salami. I make mommy and lifestyle videos here on YouTube every Tuesday, and this week I'm coming back with a continuation of a conversation that began 2 weeks ago when I was talking about how to deal with a broken heart. If you did not watch that deep video, please look in my description box below and I'll include the link. But today I want to talk about how I found my husband, who just so happens to be Nigerian. Today is October 1st, the day of this recording, and it's Nigerian Independence Day. So it's a special day for all Nigerians, and we're not really participating in any festivities this year because we have a 3-month-old baby, almost 4 months. And so, yeah, I'm at home, I'm chillaxing in bed, and I just want to sit down and have a quick chat with you about why I married Nigerian. First, if you watched the last video, you would know that I had a very hard breakup right before I met my husband. And I met my husband in a very peculiar time. It was a very difficult time when I met my husband. I was still angry. I was bitter in some ways, even though I tried very hard not to be. If I was to be 100% honest, I harbored a lot of ill will and feelings towards a certain individual, or maybe even a couple of people on top of that individual. So I think that when I first met my husband, I wasn't really open to dating at all. And I met him after being invited to a party in Long Island. A mutual friend picked me up, and it just so happens that my husband, future husband, was in the car at the time. And I thought that I would lose him once I got to the party. Unfortunately, we were very early, and so I was stuck having conversation with him. And so that's where everything began. And I remember saying, I don't want to be involved with anything else or anyone else. I want to focus on my career. I want to focus on myself and trying to figure out what makes me happy. Because for so long I was dealing with being sad. I was managing almost like a depressed person. I wasn't actually depressed, but there were certain areas of my life that were a bit depressed. I wasn't living my full life in my last relationship. I kind of cut myself short. And in doing that, I really lost who I was, and I forgot what made me happy. Even the fact that I lived in New York City really didn't have that much of effect on me because I was in such a place that I didn't really take advantage of the fact that I was in one of the best cities in the world, doing the thing that I said I wanted to do since I was in the 4th grade, and that was to be a practicing attorney. So with all that said, one of the things that I did when I first started going through this self-discovery time was to try to create a bucket list for living in New York City. All the things that I had wanted to do or dreamt of doing in the city that I'd never done before, I was going to do. Essentially, I wanted to play tourist. And so when I first met my husband and I told him I wasn't interested in dating anyone, I said, well, I guess I just want to go and have fun. So yeah, you can meet me here or there if you want to, you know, hang out with me or whatever. Because I wasn't going to call it a date. I wasn't going to call it anything that sound anything like a relationship. So that's what we started to do. We started to knock off things that was on my New York City bucket list. And after a while, he was like, you know, you're my girl. Like, we're dating. And I'm like, no, we're not. I did not want to have that title of girlfriend because I felt like I had just been through so much and I needed more time to mourn. And it was like, how much time do you need to mourn? Like, life keeps moving. Nobody is going to wait for you to get over your broken heart. No one is going to wait for you to put yourself back together like Humpty Dumpty. The world keeps moving and no one is going to wait for Tracy to feel better. No one is going to wait till you feel whole. No one is going to wait till your heart is 100% in check. Life keeps moving. And so that's what I started to do in my own self-reflection and discovery. Like, how much longer, Tracy, are you going to mourn something that you lost? Because I need to get back to life. I need to have faith and know that my greater is coming, and I can't sit and sulk over something that has spilled. Don't cry over spilled milk, or, you know, don't sulk over spilled milk, whatever the saying goes. It's spilled. It's gone now, and after a while it's going to start to stink. So you need to wipe it up and go get you another gallon of milk. So that's what I did. I started to wipe everything up, use some disinfectant, and keep it moving. And that's what I did. How much longer should you mourn? Not 1 second longer than necessary. Give yourself time to grieve, yes, but pick up your bags and keep going. Keep moving, keep going forward, keep praying, and keep trusting and believing that God has something greater. So while I was running around New York City, I was forming a really nice relationship with a guy who I refused to accept as the person that God had chosen for me. I wasn't even thinking about how God may have brought this person in my life. This person just showed up. I wasn't looking for you. I wasn't out on the hunt. I wasn't really even checking for you. I didn't even know how tall he was. I didn't know a whole lot about him. I was just meeting him at a public place to do something in a very public way because I'm not doing anything that's intimate. I'm not doing anything that screams relationship. And that's how I met my husband. And thank goodness he was patient. And thank goodness that he knew exactly what he wanted. And once he found it, there was nothing that was going to stop him. He was very determined. And I know a lot of people say that about African men. Like, once they like you, they just go way over and beyond, doing all sorts of things to try to woo you. But he did that, but then he didn't do that. He was like, you know, I'm going to chase you or whatever. I'm going to play this game, but I'm not going to play for too long. And I'm like, okay, I honestly didn't care. If you decided to leave and go on a date with someone else tomorrow, I honestly did not care. But the way things developed and the way God showed up, eventually it just came to be that my eyes were opened. And all of a sudden, I just knew that this person was something special. For everything that I had questioned God about when I was going through my heartbreak, I found the answer in my husband. All the little things, even the vain things, even the things that are probably not 100% clean and pure that a Christian girl should be thinking about, I was thinking about. So I was wondering how I was going to be able to get all of those things that I wanted in a relationship with starting over at the age of my early 30-somethings. I won't say how old I was, but I was 30. How do I get back in the game? How do I move forward in my own personal quest to find a companion? at this age. And in my husband, I found all the things I wanted. And in him, I found and I saw stability. I saw a confident man. I saw someone who knew exactly what he wanted. I saw someone who loved himself, loved his culture, and demanded respect for it. But he also was open minded to the American culture and the American way of living, even though there were clear differences in how he valued some of what he saw in America. I think at the end of the day, he was someone that I could try to build a life with. And I saw that early on because he made it clear to me exactly what he wanted. And it wasn't just by speaking, it wasn't all talk, it was by action as well. The way he came to me, to my family, how he presented me to his friends, how he put me out in his world as someone who was more than, the average girl. And so I think he saw what he wanted. And so he asked me for my hand in marriage. In Nigerian culture, usually people, visit. But because our families are so far apart, part of his family was in Nigeria, part of his family was here in Brooklyn. My family was down in Florida and in South Carolina. So it was just not possible to do things in the most traditional way. As far as the Nigerian culture, specifically the Yoruba culture, but he did his best variation of it. And I think that his intentions were clear, and the standard was set high on both sides. We both were not willing to sacrifice our happiness for something that wasn't real. And so we took time to go through premarital counseling. We took 13 months to not only plan for our wedding, but also just to make sure we were sure about the steps we wanted to take. So this wasn't, oh, I met you in March and I'm marrying you in July. This was a long, drawn out relationship of courting, and it was a long, drawn out process of engagement and premarital counseling. And so I chose to say yes because I saw something from someone who came to me correct. One of the things that I noticed when my relationship with my then boyfriend was starting to get really serious, at some point I realized that I loved him. And I didn't want to love him. It's like, oh gosh, how did I get so wrapped up emotionally again? Even after dating for so many months, I was still trying to avoid being heartbroken again. Even with all of the teachings and all the faith in it till I'm making it, there's still some part of me that had a guard up. And I think that when we do that, we not only limit ourselves, but we shut people out. And I think that you can make it really difficult for yourself and miss out on a lot in life when you have harbored anxiety. And I think that I felt a lot of that when he was just only trying to love me. And so when it got to the point where I loved him back, it got difficult because I was still grappling with myself. But thank God I came through that. I got to the point where I completely let my guard down. And then once I did that, I started to have so much fun. And I was happy. I was the happiest I had been, and I can't tell you how many years. I think if you ask any of my family members or my friends, they were like, ooh, girl, you doing your thing or whatever. But it was because it was bursting out of me at every angle, every seam, every nook and cranny was happiness. And I think that it shows in photos that we took, the number of photos and videos that we took, the trips that we took. Like, it was like I was experiencing another part of life. if I were to write a book about everything that has happened to me and there was a chapter on New York City, there would be a part one and a part two. And part two made everything about part one worth it. And I want to say that sometimes when we go through these difficult periods in our life, not only is it just preparing us for something greater, but we learn to appreciate all the good when it actually happens to us. And we learn to accept the fact that we are worthy of something great. And I found my happiness um, as a result of learning how to get through the bad times. So I say all that to say that I married Nigerian because it was the right thing for me. Would it be the right thing for you? I don't know. Can I answer questions in the comment section about whether or not you're doing the right thing? I don't think so. I can only talk about my own experience. And so you have to be confident and know that there's something out there better. And when I found better, he just so happened to be Nigerian. And I just so happened to love Nigerian culture. And I knew all the things that God had equipped me with. I knew I had a full armor of God going into this new relationship, and I wasn't afraid. I had to take the leap of faith, open my heart, open my mind to someone new, to someone from a different culture, from a different continent, from a completely different background, different family upbringing, and try to merge two cultures together. And so I married Nigerian, and it turned out so far to be the best thing for me. And I have full faith and confidence that no matter what, God would not leave me nor forsake me. There are going to be tough times in this marriage. Bringing together two cultures is not easy at all. But I know who I married. I know how strong he is. I know how God-fearing he is. And I know the same for myself. And if God says that this marriage is to be, it will be. And we will get through all those things that shatter a lot of marriages. And we will be strong and we will persevere. It will be some hard, ugly days. There will be bright, beautiful days. But we're in this together for the long haul. I feel like we've been having all these deep conversations on this channel, and I hope to switch gears in the next couple of weeks. I hope to start doing some get ready with me, some beauty, fashion type videos, but we'll see how everything continues. But hang out with me, chill with me, take this ride of starting this new channel with me, and I promise you there will be good things in store, and there will be great things to come as we approach the fall and all the holidays. Take care of yourself.